Very good evening to everybody and welcome to this next in our Music Revival online live stream series. This is Christopher Egon coming to you from my home on a very chilly, I was just saying that the other day that summer has arrived and I was thinking, well, I can pack away all my winter jerseys. Boy, and is it a cool day today. It really has been cool. I had to jump in the shower just to try and feel a bit of warmth and kind of warm up at some point this morning. This evening's program, this is another in our series of in-concerts on Saturday nights, and tonight I'm focusing on some beautiful classical repertoire that's not often that heard. Not that often heard, should I say. I'm getting confused already. And focusing on music tonight, I'll be playing sonatas by Haydn and a sonata by Beethoven, as well as 3 pieces by Frédéric Chopin, and starting off with a Bach transcription. As always, these series of live streams are going out to various platforms, absolutely free of charge. We're determined to keep it free. It's been wonderful to receive the response and to receive messages of just how positive and enthusiastically these live streams are being received, whether people are watching it for the first time or whether in fact you've all watched. I think it's 173. I'm even losing count as to where we are in the series. And if you are able to support me in this program, of course, please, your support is very welcome and very much appreciated. Here comes Frida already to say hello. Now, if you are watching live, I'm grateful that you are. I know many people have been sidetracked by things called load shedding, as well as the International Springbok Rugby match, which happens to be on at the moment. Of course, if you're not watching live, you'll be enjoying this later on. These are all available at our YouTube channel and on Facebook, and I believe sometimes YouTube actually might even place adverts, unfortunately, during or even at the beginning or the end of the reviewed streams if you see them afterwards. However, if you go to my Vimeo channel, you'll find the Vimeo feed at my website, as well as the link to all my other past streams at my website. Vimeo channel does not have adverts in it because I pay for that platform. So this evening's program, as I said, some lesser known, not so well known sonatas and pieces. And I was once again thinking, and I think I might have discussed this before, but it again brought me to think about this idea. Why are some of the Beethoven sonatas and some of the Haydn sonatas or Chopin waltzes that I'm going to play, why are some more well known and more recognizable? And I always come back to this idea that a composer, when they create an idea which is very strong and they create a concept which is so powerful and recognizable, like the great A-flat major polonaise of Chopin, or the Moonlight Sonata, or even in the Haydn sonatas. I think the most often played of the Haydn sonatas, a sonata in E minor. E minor has a beautiful little rondo, which is such a memorable theme. Something like that. Very memorable tune, and these ideas are so strong and so memorable that these pieces are often the ones that people generally gravitate to. It's something that's remembered, and that something has a very strong idea to engage with. Whereas obviously these composers are writing many, many different works, and sometimes the ideas used in the lesser known pieces are not at the beginning or not at the outset so memorable and so strong, but it also means that actually they have an opportunity to maybe to work more creatively or intellectually or in a more compositionally complex way by working with simpler material. And so these pieces, I really hope you enjoy them. However, I'm going to play introduction. The whole program on the whole, the Mozart, Beethoven and Chopin is very light. There's a lot of brilliance, a lot of excitement, and a certain kind of grace and elegance to the music, you might say, even the Beethoven. And however, I'm going to start with a wonderful transcription from Bach, made by the Dutch pianist Egon Petri. This is from the cantata and the aria Sheep May Safely Graze. It's such a memorable tune, but although not quite as well known as, say, the very well known Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring. So a piece of music originally written for orchestra with 2 flutes, as well as a soprano voice, which doesn't come in quite in the beginning. A few bars in, you will hear the great melody come through. And it's such a wonderful texture, a wonderfully wrought collection of musical ideas simultaneously, and yes, Wendy Pop, I can see you, and sound that's come through together, that it's a wonderful piece to play, but it has just that incredibly wonderfully alluring and intense moment that Bach creates in his music. a very beautiful, restful, devout, really wonderful mood of worship there, you might say. From the cantata Religious Work by J.S. Bach, from the cantata that aria Sheep May Safely Graze. What beautiful, beautiful music. So I'm going to go straight on to a sonata by Franz Joseph Haydn. This is Haydn's sonata in F major in 3 movements. Haydn, of course, the teacher of Beethoven and himself, writes the symphonies, over 100 orchestral symphonies, about 52 piano sonatas, not all of them that well known, not all of them often played. But this is a very charming work in F major. As I said, it's typically Haydn, so much of his work is full of this elegance, this excitement, the grace, the brilliance. And what I think makes this sonata particularly attractive, even if not the most well known, is it's very beautifully sustained and quite moving, slow middle movement. Goes from the key of F minor into the middle movement itself, and really takes us and shows us a side of Haydn's nature which we often see as being very jovial, that sort of twinkle in the eye, that humorous nature, entertaining and very light on the ear. But Haydn also has these wonderfully deep moments, and really you can see how the composer Beethoven was inspired by this turbulence and this searching quality in his music. In the last movement of the sonata, however, Haydn comes back, that typical playfulness, the light playfulness throughout the music, offbeats, sudden outbursts, a little grace and a little slip of the tongue, or a little moment to keep you on your toes, to wonder what is going to happen next, and then he carries on with his usual jovial self. So this is a sonata in 3 movements by Franz Joseph Haydn in F major. very sudden ending. Typically Haydn, you're not quite sure if the music's going to carry on, but that is the logic of the ending of his music, that surprise, that joking, playful character that he so often uses in the last movements of his sonatas. Gosh, it's working up a little bit of a heat. Is quite hard work playing Haydn at that pace and that tempo. I hope you enjoyed that sonata. It's the sonata in F major in 3 movements by Franz Joseph Haydn. Really, a second movement, that slow movement, I think is so poignant and, as I say, searching, really, I think, inspiring Beethoven himself in many of his compositions. I'm going to go on to a companion piece by Beethoven. This is published in 1799, 1800. It's the sonata by Beethoven, Opus-10, number 2. This is a youthful work. And I've chosen this because I think it really does match and present some of the same qualities, this light playfulness that Beethoven might have actually been influenced by this exact same sonata, because it is in the same key of F major. We find Beethoven here again writing a sonata only in 3 movements. There's no searching slow movement. The first movement is full of exuberance and really this broad grandeur in some places, and as other times a playfulness right in the first notes. You'll see Beethoven writes a very, even that's very Haydnesque in its hesitance and its darting questioning, you might say. But there are wonderful moments of brilliance in the first movement. The second movement is not exactly a slow movement, but a slightly slower movement, more like a minuet and trio, almost foreshadowing the lyricism and the broad lines of some of his later works. And then the last movement is a real romp. It's a perpetual motion rhythm where Beethoven sets off a very one line at a time, as though everyone's going to get together and sing in a round or sing in a chorus of some great jubilating, whether it's a beer drinking song or whether maybe they thought they were going to win the rugby, who knows. I'm sure Beethoven was ready for that. But it's a sense of great excitement and exuberance that builds and builds and builds with this constant jovial, biting and dancing nature throughout. So this is the Sonata Opus 10, number 2, in F major by Ludwig van Beethoven, again in 3 movements. Gosh, Beethoven is quite a personality. There's a lot, a lot going there. Even called Barry unawares. Yeah. Very good, caught up. Thank you, Barry, for missing the rugby. I know Barry's a huge rugby fan, so we're very grateful that he's missing the rugby. He's going to watch it later to bring us our live stream. We can't have a live stream without it being live. So that was the sonata in F major, 3 movements. Now it's really getting quite warm in here. 3 movements, Opus 10, number 2 by Ludwig van Beethoven. Really has that Beethoven stamp, that energy and that precise foot stomping sort of definition, quite a step further on the line, you might say, from Franz Joseph Haydn. Someone else who's waiting to step on the line is little Lucy. Lucy, you need to just wait your turn. And there was a moment, quite funny actually, in the exuberance of that last movement, I was getting rather carried away and my iPad wouldn't turn, so I just had to keep playing an extra 2 or 3 bars till I could get over the page. Otherwise I would have got completely stuck and I didn't know quite what was coming over there. I did know it, but once I start playing, it's difficult to turn once I've moved on. So best I'm actually looking at what I'm playing. Sorry about that, but anyway, I'm sure Beethoven would have appreciated the moment, the sort of caution and the humor in that. I am then going to move on to now 3 pieces by Frédéric Chopin. These pieces are all, again, fitting in with this evening's program. There's a certain lightness and elegance and exuberance and positive grace throughout. And I'm going to start off with a piece which I've never played before. So this is always very scary. This is very daunting. I mean, no matter how I've played this or worked on this piece and practiced it for probably 10 or 15 years on and off. But there's always a real daunting moment when you finally bring it out and play it in public for the first time. So this is the Impromptu in A flat. So we all know the fantasy Impromptu, the very, which is a combination of impromptu, this idea that music is spontaneous and just in the moment, but with a fantasy element, whereas Chopin also wrote 3 impromptus at different points in his life. And this is a very charming piece, Opus 29, I think it is. It has a sort of whirling figure that goes round and around and slightly moves off into different layers, and then a middle section which has a more extended melody with a phrase repeated with various ornamentation and these cascading sounds before the opening idea returns. So let's just see how that goes. And then straight after that, I'm going to play 2 pieces which I think I do know a little bit better, a waltz, 2 waltzes in A flat. The one a little bit more redolent, a little bit more melancholic, not even melancholic, but lyrical and resigned. And then the very beautiful waltz in A flat, Opus 42, which I think is a really magnificent work. Precise, elegant, graceful, cleverly composed. It's a waltz, but it sounds like a march almost. But he... all these whirling figures underneath. So it's a very beguiling piece. Lovely ending. A friend of mine said to me once, he said, "Oh, the only reason you like to play that piece is because it's got a very exciting, fast and brilliant ending." Well, what's wrong with that? I think that's a great reason to play a piece. I think it's a fantastic piece anyway. So this is the Impromptu in A flat, Opus 29. Come, Freddie. Just sit in your basket, Fritz, in your basket. in that selection of 3 compositions by Frédéric Chopin, I played the Waltz in A flat, Opus 42. Before that, the Waltz in A flat, Opus 69. I think I've got the numbers correct. And I started with the Impromptu in A flat, Opus 29. That didn't go too badly. I think it's quite a charming piece. So certainly I'll work on that and eventually absorb it into my memory if there's space, and be able to play that again, because it's such a wonderful, I think a really fascinating, interesting piece. Now, someone who is really fascinating and interesting is Little Lucy. And here is Little Lucy. Little Lucy's first in the queue for this evening's live stream guest appearances. Yes, every time on the queue, the credit notes roll, and there's Christopher Daigen at home with special guests. Yes, special guests. Yes, Little Lucy, Frida, and Wendy. Hello, Little Lucy. How are things today? Oh, you think there's a tasty treat somewhere here? You think there's a treat hiding? And Luce, it's been really cold. You've been snuggling in bed, and you were waiting for your dinner. You were very keen. You kept on looking to see if your dinner was going to come early. And dare I ask, Lucy, what did you do today? Just nothing. Nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just hang around and look sweet, and that's absolutely perfect. Yes, that's enough. Absolutely. Oh, you're having a big back bend. Yes, a little back stretch. Oh gosh, a little yoga stretch, I think. Yeah. Gosh, loose. Right here, off you go. Let's see, where is Wendy and Frida? No, they've disappeared. They were here earlier. They didn't get any attention, so they've left. So thank you, Barry, for giving up your time with the rugby, for coming to help with the stream. I know many of you are going to be watching this after the rugby or at another time. I know that load shedding also impacts hugely on whether people are able to watch this, the viewers are able to watch this live. Just a reminder that you can also watch it, as I say, free of adverts. If you're watching on YouTube and you get adverts in your feed, then you can obviously watch it at my website, where there's a Vimeo feed, and also at my Vimeo platform, which you'll find the link on my website, musicrevival.co.za. You'll also find a page there which will send you to all the possible links of monthly subscriptions or Patreon, which I'm not really pushing too much at the moment, because all the money goes all the way to the United States, and then into PayPal, and then into one bank, and then to another bank. So it's a bit of a round trip. So the monthly subscription, if you'd like to support me on a regular basis with PayFast, it's a South African-based platform, and that's really the best and the most viable option. Concerts will be coming up shortly. We've got some live concerts, as I said, in Neisner, in Pietermaritzburg, and in Hermanus, as well as at the Ambers in Howick. Those will be 29th of November up to the middle of December. And then, depending on how things are going, we might be able to start doing a few sporadic concerts in January next year, but I will be carrying on with these live streams until the lockdown is officially over. So thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for coming along. I hope you've enjoyed the sparkling music, this vibrance of Haydn, Beethoven, and Chopin, and we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for the next in our session and piano hour with myself, Christopher Daigen. Look after yourself, keep well, and stay well. Wendy Pop. Hello, Wendy Pop, Wendy Pop, Wendy Pop. Say hello to everyone.